guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and this is my 1,000-mile review of my McLaren 570s. So let's take it for a little spin here on the side roads. We've had this car since the middle of December. I'm filming this in March, so you'll probably see this video in April. I don't know what's beeping here. I don't know. But this car has been great for the 1,000 miles. We've probably driven it almost 1,200 miles, but there was so much salt on the road I couldn't do the review. So when I first got this car, middle of December, between middle of December and probably middle of January, I drove this car at least 1,000 miles. I took it on a couple, 200-mile round trips, drives with my friends, me getting drives every time it was a nice day, and this car was fantastic. Now, you can watch my video. I'll link it at the very end of this video. I had 3 problems in the first 3 days that I had. Basically, what I did is reset the car, and everything's run perfect. So day 4 on, and I've had this car now, January, February, March, 3 months, 90 days, it's been perfect. So this is probably one of the most reliable cars I've owned. And that's why I chose a McLaren 570s, really because I think McLaren got it right this time. The 12C has a lot of issues. Watch Hoobie's Garage and his $150,000 worth of warranty repairs. Watch the 650S and electronic suspension failures. So I think the 570S, they got it right. Also, I never get the first year of a new model. So what I did was I didn't want a 16 at all. I wanted to start with a 17 that was still under the McLaren bumper-to-bumper warranty. You know what? Let's do a little bit of acceleration here. That's more important. So we're going to put it in manual mode. We're going to put it in sport. Make sure that's activated now. I always drive using the paddle shifters. I just didn't then because, let's go. Okay. This car is so fast, you really have to go pretty slow with it, unfortunately, on legal speed. So that's what's good about having a slow car fast, like say the S2000. You can go as far as you want, as fast as you want, do some red line shifts, and you're probably not breaking any speed limits. Here, in first gear, you'd probably exceed the speed limit. So that's one of the downsides of having an exotic car. While we're talking about downsides, is this car attracts a lot of attention. You don't want to do anything stupid on a public road, because I guarantee somebody is filming you with their cell phone. So I just came back from a 2-hour trip. I'm filming this as I'm getting close to my house, and everybody behind you is holding their phone up like this, filming you driving. So if you did something stupid, weaving in and out of lanes, passing on the right, somebody has that on camera. So you don't want to, you got to be very careful. Reliability, this car has been super reliable. This car is everything I thought it was and more. It's actually almost too high performance to enjoy on public roads. This is a car that you should probably do some track days with, just so you can really get the experience of the car. You can do like an S2000, slow car fast. Here, you're driving a fast car slow. So driving along the highways to get to this event that I did today it was an exercise in restraint for sure, because obviously you're one of the fastest cars on the road, probably realistically the fastest car on the road. You can't really use that power with other cars around you, and obviously abiding by the rules of the road. This dual clutch transmission, I would say, is the best in the business. Because I have a YouTube channel, I get to drive a lot of cars, subscriber cars, press cars, and I would say, I always thought PDK from Porsche was the best, but this is the best. This blows away Porsche. But obviously, if you want to, everybody would love to have a McLaren. If you have you get a Porsche one day, obviously the PDK would be excellent, but for a Porsche, I'd get a manual transmission. I love stick shift cars. I wish this car had a manual transmission, even if it was slower. But if you're going to drive a dual clutch transmission, you want to drive the best dual clutch transmission. What else can I tell you? Gas mileage on this car, I don't know what I get, but it's not very good. So I typically drive this car on the weekend, so of course I drive it spiritedly. It tells me a full tank of gas, I'll get 200 something miles if I do a highway. If I drive around town, it tells me I probably have 120 miles and probably 230 if it's highway mileage. So we're driving around town now, and the gas is really sucking down. Even though we're only going 19 miles an hour, it's still sucking gas kind of like crazy here. But, and I don't think the tank's that big either. You can look it up how much it is. Ride quality, the ride quality is really good. If you want a softer ride quality, get a GT, but because that has a much softer ride quality. If you want to drive it every day, you got the glass roof, you got the more sound deadening It is a softer suspension, and you really notice the difference. I think it's only like 10 and 15%. I forget which is which from front to back, but it is a noticeable difference. But for me, I always want the lighter, faster car. Why would I want the slower, heavier car? But again, if you're going to use it as a commuting car or literally drive it every chance you can and rack a ton of miles, maybe the GT is better for you. The GT does not have good visibility because it's got the fastback like a 68 Mustang. The mirror is kind of useless. You can't see too well behind you because it's the trunk with the big glass opening door. Other things you might want to know about this car is insurance. Insurance was probably equal to my BMW M2 or Audi S8, so it wasn't too crazy for insurance, but I have a perfect driving record. But New Jersey, we're one of the most expensive states, if not the most expensive state for car insurance because we're densely populated. 9 million people live here in a very small state. What else can I tell you? You will be friendly with your local gas station attendant because you will get a lot of attention. In New Jersey, we can't pump our own gas, so they have to pump it for you. So that kind of helps a little bit with an exotic car because people will come up to you, take pictures, talk to you, want to trade. They'll ask you, what kind of car is that? You'll say Mclaren. They'll say, who makes that? Because McLaren may not have the following that Ferrari or Lamborghini does unless you're a Formula One fan like I am. So you will attract a lot of attention, but in New Jersey, you don't have to get out of the car, so you don't have to worry about that as badly. People will follow you, especially on the highway, weaving in and out of lanes to catch up with you and then take pictures with their phone. So visibility on this side is actually great. It's like 911 type visibility. You can see really well over your shoulder. This side is like a Cayman S with a big pillar there. It does provide a pretty big blind spot. Dual clutch is the best in the business. It handles phenomenal. You feel like you're driving a Formula One car. As far as stiff suspension, I equate it to my M2. I would say the suspension is just as stiff as the M2, and I personally don't think the M2 is that stiff. My GLA 45 was way stiffer. But if you buy, say, an M5, that's going to be a softer suspension. If you're used to M2s or M3s, I think you'd be perfectly fine with the suspension. I've been driving this car about 2 hours, and I'm close to home now, so I'm filming this video, and I was fine in the suspension. The seats are excellent. I love the leather. The stereo is excellent. I would get the Bowers and Wilkins if you can. And you can identify that in pictures, obviously, if you see the side of the door here or that little speaker on top here by the air conditioning controls. I wouldn't want to own one of these cars without a warranty. So I would pay a little extra and get certified pre-owned from a McLaren dealer like I did. So this car, being a 17 when I bought it in December, had 1 full year of bumper-to-bumper warranty because it's 3 years unlimited miles. And then I got another year for free because they had a special at the end of the year where they give you an extra year certified, so I have 24 months of coverage. So that's how I would buy these cars. I'd pay a little extra to get a McLaren dealer. I'd skip a 16 and get a 17 because I think most of the glitches were ironed out. Even Ed Bolian said about McLaren, if you watch VinWiki like I do, he said 90% of the problems are software. You just reset the car and it's fine, which I think is a good thing. But the powertrain is excellent with the turbocharged 3.8 liter V8. Actually, speaking of that, let's do the same thing again. Let's put it in sport mode and do a little acceleration here. This is why you buy a McLaren. And you also buy a McLaren for the turns, of course. And let's turn around in here. These roads are bumpy. The camera's shaking because the roads is bumpy. It's not necessarily the car. When I drive my BMWs or S2000, we still get the same shake here. What else can I tell you about the car? Get one that's loaded up. So my philosophy always is, if you're going to buy a used car, get a fully loaded one like this. So this car, they started about $188,000. I'll do a little acceleration here. And they started about $188,000. This car had a sticker of $245,000, so it had over $40,000 just in carbon fiber. You want the luxury pack, you want the Napa leather, you want the Bowers and Wilkins stereo. If I can only find smooth roads, this would be easier. But get a fully loaded car. Options really mean nothing when you purchase the car used. This car at $165 with the $245 sticker, buying it used $165 is the same as buying, you could buy another one for $165 that had no options. So really, options don't hold any resale value. So for that reason, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a used one, certified pre-owned, with as many options you can find. So I wasn't even looking for red, to be honest. I really wanted a blue or orange. I think McLarens look great in any one of the oranges, but it just, the red popped with all the carbon fiber. And I wanted the stripe on the interior here. I thought it just looked phenomenal. So it's a great fun to drive, and I highly recommend this car. I test drove this against the Lamborghini Huracan and the 458. Now the 458 that's in that 160 to 170 range, if I'm a Ferrari dealer with a warranty, is about 165 to 170. And the dual clutch in 2011, even though it was state of the art when it came out for Ferrari, isn't as good as this dual clutch. Now again, this is a 17, that's a 2011, so it's not really a fair comparison. That's like comparing an iPhone 1 with an iPhone 8. But I just thought this was much better. Ferrari sounded fantastic with a normally aspirated V8. It handled very well. I would say this car even handled a little better. They're both mid-engine cars, but the gearbox was much better in this car. Now, I did consider the Lamborghini Huracan. I love how the Huracan looks. It's got a lot of Audi parts, which is a good thing on the inside, like infotainment. I think the dual clutch is very good, not as good as this, and I think the handling is not as good as this. It's more like an 8-pence car, but if they were the same price, it would be a tough call. I really did like the Huracan a lot. I think the handling was a little unfinished, and they're actually worth more money. They actually hold their value more. They made 10,000 Huracans, which is way more than they made in 570Ss, but and they have a lot of miles on too. It's easy to find a McLaren with 5,000 miles. Every Huracan I see a used one has 20 or 30,000 miles. So for me, it didn't make sense paying $180 for a Huracan with 30,000 miles. We'll try the Huracan. But this car has been phenomenal. I love it. Now we're going to do, people always wonder, McLaren's reliable. I had some issues, as you know, the first couple of days. They were mainly, you know, software kind of stuff. They've all gone away since day 4, and for the last 3 months, this car has been close to perfect. So we'll keep doing reviews of it. We'll do maybe quarterly reviews or something like that. And so far, I highly, 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 highly recommend buying one. Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.